Before we begin, I'd just like to give a quick reminder that Rivers of the Mind is not meant to condone or promote any use of drugs, illicit or otherwise. Thanks. Let's begin. Episode 9, Escape from Horizon 1. Of the dormitory hallway hummed with a sharp and foreboding timbre, seething with the various languages of the nocturnal drugs, languages of sleeping pills, painkillers, and sedatives prescribed to the various inhabitants of the base, languages that filled every inch of the hallway with varying shades and colors of silence and slow-burning fire. No one was sleeping easy that night. Almost intuitively, I slipped into the mushroom language. My pupils dilated, and it became easier to see down the hallway. Light from a tiny beeping fire alarm illuminated the whole corridor in intermittent bursts of red. Though each groan of metal or sound from beneath the door made me fear that the white flowers were moving in to attack me, my heartbeat in my ears acted like a war drum, filling me with courage. Confidently, I pressed on. As I wound my way further through the building, I started to hear whispering voices, just barely perceptible through the air vents. Closer to the administrative section, they became more intelligible, at least intelligible enough for me to recognize them. Maureen and Bobby, discussing the day's events in fearful and awestruck tones. I turned to move up the stairs, which I remembered going down to get to my room earlier that night. Hearing my footsteps, Maureen sharply cut off Bobby. Shh! Someone's coming up the stairs.
Fuck! What do we say?
Just say we couldn't sleep. Turning the corner, I could see their shadows cast against the wall by the faintest light of idling electronics in the administrative section. Maureen? Bobby?
It's that one chick. What's her name?
It's Megan. Couldn't sleep either, huh? No, I couldn't. When I emerged to the top of the stairs, the two both looked me up and down. Maureen's face twitched. Surprisingly, her eyes had changed. Their shape was now rounder, her nose more acute. She looked knowingly at Bobby. What? Something wrong? I didn't know what to say. What do I look like to you? What color hair do I have? Nervously, I gulped, fearing that I'd stumbled into some kind of trivial argument that would hinder me from finding tobacco. Brown? Bobby shook his head. And what color are my eyes? Blue? I wonder what that means. She scratched her head. This wasn't a trivial argument, I started to realize. Maureen had been changed by the accident too, and now she was trying to figure it out. No psychic presence had been there to guide her through this change. No explanation or forewarning had been given. She was horrified, yet masked her fear underneath a confidence not at all misplaced, in her ability to figure it out. She liked puzzles, I could tell. The mystery of all this enthralled her as much as it scared her. That's what you look like to yourself, isn't it? I've got it.
Well, hell no. I don't look like a...
What does she look like to you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Maureen squinted at me, studying my widely dilated pupils. You don't think I'm crazy? Of course not. I noticed it too. You've changed somehow after the accident, right? Yeah, I mean, the mushrooms. Something is going on here. Something is going on.
I think that I have a buddy who saw that guy in the hospital room around town.
Mumbled Bobby, sitting down and working on unbuttoning his shirt. He felt very hot, very drunk, and very tired.
It's really weird. I don't think this is Maureen. What did I say earlier? Fuck, man. It's happening again.
He looked up at her to finish his sentence. This lab still does whatever it did in the 60s. I just know it. Only they figured out how to get results. Like that Netflix show. Strange Places, or whatever. Well, actually... Bobby, show her what you can do? Bobby took off his shirt and stood up, irritated and stumbling. Suddenly, his body erupted into weak blue flames, burning the sweat from his skin. Once the flames subsided, he was no longer drunk, but he seemed terrified as his drunkenness already started to creep back up on him. What about you? It's kind of complicated. I really wish I could stay and talk about this, you guys, but I've got to go. Where are you going? I need to go find tobacco. It's really important. Maureen rolled her eyes, reaching into her back pocket to hold out a cigarette box. Not that kind, I said, pushing away the box. I need real tobacco. It's urgent. I don't have much time. Tell us why, begged Maureen, gripping my arm before I could turn away. You can trust us. This is really complicated, but if I don't find some tobacco, some flowers are going to kill you all with their minds. I swear I'll tell you more later, I whispered, pulling my hand away and running to the administrative center, the main area of which was locked, although a corridor leading to the tram entrance was still open. The tram entrance was guarded by 2 guards, who sat drowsily in rolling chairs with automatic weapons at their sides. I switched into the English language so that in case I had to interact with them, I could do so without seeming like a loon. Maureen and Bobby followed me a few yards behind, thinking that I didn't know they were following me. It was annoying. I knew that they thought their conversation was really important, and it must have seemed very important to them at the time. But as curious as I was about why Maureen's face looked different to everyone, and why Bobby had to light himself on fire every couple of hours, I was also really frustrated and didn't want to waste any more time. The guards spotted me approaching the gate and rose from their seats, ordering me to stop. Almost without thinking, I pulled them into the language of silence. I grew weak at the knees and started to feel myself fall down. But I didn't care. The silence was all I needed, embracing me like a long-lost friend. The silence pulled me in. I watched as drowsiness overcame the 2 guards and made them pass out. Strangely, I was still awake. I stood up. Or fuck no, I was already standing. Yeah, right. Well, whatever. I mean, what do you care? What I do, you fucking asshole? Fuck. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of this fucking language. I tripped over my feet while I went to grab the officer's ID badge. Shit. I totally forgot what I was doing. Hey, go fuck yourself! I shouted, flipping off Bobby, Maureen, and everything, basically. Man, this language is awesome. I heard one part of myself say, "No, it's not you, dumbass. You need to get your shit together." I replied. "Fuck that," retorted the other part of me. "But I guess I've got some important shit to do. I think." I struggled to make myself swipe the card and unlock the gate. I pushed as hard as I could against the silence as my head started to grow heavy and my eyelids droopy. The silence loomed below my feet like a monster made of infinite void, a monster trying to wrestle me down into its murky depths. Yet I simultaneously saw it like a welcoming pair of arms, ready to wrap themselves around me. And
she's going to stay with me for a while. I need to keep her safe.
oh, shit. I'm in the tunnel. Fuck. How did I get here? I finally withdrew from the silence, having walked through most of the tunnel in a half-sleeping haze. Emerging into the open air, I headed towards the gate, security pass in hand, before I saw two translucent frames making their way through the forest. Just barely, I could see the outline of John talking to one of the ghosts I had seen in Dr. Whitebaum's laboratory. For just a moment, I watched them. They were too far away to hear, but I decided again that I did not have time to waste investigating whatever it was they were doing. I swiped the card at the gate to make my exit and headed down to the road. It felt magical to return to the open air, to wander under the night sky. So magical that it was easy to forget my mission, or at least let it slip to the back of my mind. In the mushroom language, I felt that I found a miraculous harmony with the earth. Exhausted as I was, the night air seemed to replenish me. This world was my home, and I felt at ease, free, within it. The light of the moon, just a phase past full, shone in a sea of stars and incandescent clouds. Noise from passing cars scattered over the dense wooded hills in shattered jewels. The dirt under my feet swelled like the breathing chest of a sleeping giant. The trees hummed soft homages to the sky. Frogs in the ponds by the stream eyed insects with hungry stomachs, shooting out their tongues to swat them from the air and yank them into their mouths. Tiny fish babbled through the creek, hunting for algae on the river rock, alone in a minuscule world of water, which seemed to them to be the entire universe. But when my feet touched the pavement, something inside of me seethed. An all-consuming anxiety, a frustrated rage at the separation I now endured. The city, small as it was to the English parts of my brain, seemed an immense and menacing abomination of flickering, off-colored artificial suns and steel monsters in the psilocybe language. I clutched my stomach and uncomfortably returned to English. But even in that language, the city felt miserable, since my brain remained covered in beshroomed sensations. An unsettled paranoia crept up the muscles in my spine and my neck. The headlights of passing cars seemed like eyes that studied me with disgust, fear, and rage. I felt off balance, no longer confident, no longer brave, but suddenly exhausted, cognizant of how terrified and hopeless I felt in my whole body. My teeth chattered, not so much out of cold, but out of fear. I retreated from the sidewalk and onto the grass, breathing deeply to try and calm myself by looking at the moon. "Hello, moon," I whispered.
Hello, Megan.
The moon was reassuring, but what could I say to the moon? Did it even want to talk to me? I imagined it turning its nose up at me and saying,
I am so much better than you, Megan. After all, I am the moon. And you were so rude to Maureen. Why would I even want to speak with you?
and I guess that really had bothered me, you know? Being so mean. I felt like I should have taken the time to support her through her struggles with, you know, looking weird and not really knowing what was happening. I'm sorry, Moon. The moon, being a large piece of rock, did not actually reply, but instead, in my imagination, let out a palpable sigh and told me,
It is A-okay, Megan. I'm not mad at you at all. You are on good terms with the moon.
I sat down on a bench and looked around at the city. Vaguely, I could make out a smoke shop, but they wouldn't be open now, not at 4 a.m. Perhaps a gas station was my best bet. I scanned the horizon for gas stations. A single 7-Eleven sat about half a mile down the road. I took off for it, walking as quickly as I could. I flung open the door and immediately headed to the front counter to look at the tobacco. The fluorescent lights cast uneven and strange colors over the room, making it seem like a sort of awful carnival attraction.
Can I help you, ma'am? Ma'am? Excuse me? Can you hear me? If you don't respond to me, I'm going to need to call the police.
Can I see those cigarettes?
I'm gonna need to see your ID.
I hadn't grabbed my wallet. Of course I hadn't grabbed my wallet. Oh well. Maybe I could figure out a way around it. Maybe I could just tell them the truth. I just want to talk to them. I need to hear their languages.
What?
I need to talk to them. The spirit ones. Probably.
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to show me your ID. You're gonna have to leave.
Just then, the door sprang open.
Megan, what the hell are you doing here?
Jacob. Is that really you?
Is this your sister, Jake?
Yeah, she is.
She autistic or something?
Well, don't worry, I'll take her home. But anyway, I just came in to buy a few of these. Did you see that shit with the fucking terrorists? Shit, totally like a giant fucking sinkhole, 10 feet from my house.
Jacob pulled 3 5-hour energies out of a rack and set them on the counter, along with a wrinkled $20 bill. The man, seeming to feel bad for Jacob, sighed and took the money. Jacob led me out to his car.
Megan, what are you doing here? Are you okay? I thought they said you were a witness in the investigation with the sinkhole or whatever. You are Megan, right? You didn't get body snatched or something? Shit, what a fucking day.
2 of us got in, and he quickly downed to 5-hour energy. In his mind, I saw a flurry of languages, one of them still embryonic, then warm, so inaudible as to seem practically insignificant. Another that now entered his body matched the language of the coffee tree, and then overpowering them all, an immense insectoid presence I knew at once to be methamphetamine. I shut my eyes to see what it looked like. And all at once I found myself in a field of crystalline grass, higher than my eyes could see, that brushed against my skin like silk, giving a gentle electricity. An intelligence looped in each blade and in the ground beneath. A language of motion, alertness, activity, visceral and soul-searing awakeness. But the mind did not come from the grass. Rather, the grass came from the mind. Trillions of tiny insects looming in this vast, open plain urged me forward. They, like their prey, to run. My eyes shot open and back into English.
Do you need to go to a doctor or something?
I need to find tobacco.
Well, they probably had some in the gas station. Do you not have your ID?
Not that tobacco. Real tobacco.
What do you mean, like Indian tobacco?
Yeah. Yes. Do you know where I can find some?
Like a farm? Probably a farm. I mean, there's a lot of farms around here, and maybe they have tobacco or something. But I don't think there are any Indians around here. We could look, but wait, why do you need to find tobacco? What's going on?
So remember how I told you about that weird homeless guy who came into work?
Yeah, I remember that. What does he have to do with it?
Well, he's a psychic. My brother's eyes grew wide. Just then it hit him. I looked like I was tripping really, really hard. And my neck and shoulders were covered in faint blue bruises.
He's a psychic?
He asked, seeming to try and take me seriously. Yeah, he's a psychic. He visited me in a dream and he told me to come to this farm. You know, the one with the mushrooms. Well, I got there, and there was a big hole in the universe, and it was too much for the mushrooms to handle alone. So they sacrificed themselves and passed their powers on to me. Now I'm trying to save John, the homeless guy, from these evil white flowers.
And you... what? You need tobacco for this?
Yeah.
Alright, you know what? I know a guy. Let me make a call.
He stepped out of the car and opened his phone, looking through his contacts. I tried to listen in on what he was saying by switching into the mushroom language, where my senses felt enhanced, even though they felt sorely offended by this steel monstrosity in which I found myself.
Hey, Cameron. Yeah, how are you doing, man? Everything cool? Sorry, I know it's late. Today's been a fucking crazy day. Did you see what happened on the news? It was like 10 seconds from my house. I was just getting off work and I stopped at the... Yeah, I am. Sorry. But listen, I just ran into my sister. Yeah, her. Yeah, she did. I don't know what's going on, but she's tripping really bad. She just told me all of this weird shit about some psychic homeless guy, and I think she needs a place to calm down. Oh, you're tripping too? Oh, fuck, dude. Sorry. Well, is it okay if we come by? Thanks, man. You're a lifesaver. I'll head there now. Hey, did you see what happened on the news? Yeah, it was like 10 seconds from my house. Right there, exactly. I went to check it out, and I was about to... Okay, cool.
Jacob opened the door and pulled the car into reverse.
My friend Cameron says he's got some Indian tobacco.
He lied with disturbingly little effort.
Why don't we go down there?
This is serious, Jacob.
I believe you. Don't worry, Meg.
No, you don't.
You heard what I said, didn't you?
I've got mushroom powers, Jacob. Of course I can hear what you said.
How long ago did you take the mushrooms, Megan?
Shut up, Jacob. This is real.
How long ago did you take the mushrooms?
I didn't just... You know what? Stop the car.
No.
Why not?
You're gonna jump out, I'm gonna have to run after you, and it's gonna freak you out because you're tripping balls. That's why.
I'm not gonna jump out. I promise. I want to show you. Rolling his eyes, Jacob pulled over onto the shoulder of the road, almost leaning out into a ditch. He locked the car so that I could not leave. I reached towards his mind and effortlessly pulled him into the mushroom language. Suddenly, the colors in the air became more vivid, shifting just slightly into unreality. His vision became seemingly crystal clear, but the world stretched out of proportion. His head detached from his body and his hands felt miles away from his arms. The methamphetamine shooting through his system sent his brain into overdrive. His thoughts ran on never-ending loops. He looked on with horror as time seemed to slip away. Feeling guilty to have hurt him, I switched him into the language of alcohol. At once, all of his fear melted into a depressed, burning haze. His heart rate slowed down. His head started spinning, and his vision went blurry. Then back to English.
What the fuck? What the... Did they do something to you?
No. The mushrooms chose me. They chose me, Jacob. Do you believe me now?
I don't know, not really. No, I've been up for 3 days, Megan.
Not really?
Don't do that again. Don't.
He recoiled in fear. I'm not gonna. I'm sorry. I know it scared you.
Man, I've gotta quit this shit.
He leaned back in his seat, his heart racing faster than I'd ever seen a heart beat.
That was terrifying.
I'm sorry. Again.
It's not your fault I haven't slept for 3 days. The mushrooms gave you, like, the ability to make people trip or something?
I can hear the languages of everything. I can hear meth, and alcohol, and acid, and the sleepy drugs at the hospital.
And, like, make people feel them with your mind?
Yeah.
And you're looking for tobacco?
Yeah. But listen, you can't tell anyone you saw me. I'm not supposed to be out here, and I need to hurry back.
Okay. Tobacco. Man, I don't know shit about tobacco. If you were looking for meth, I could find you meth. But, like, tobacco, well, you know, Cameron might actually be able to help. I knew Cameron in high school, and he knows a lot about drugs. I think he took some kind of drug in the Amazon. It started with an I or something. He did it on a volunteer trip. I don't know, he's a Mormon or something.
That's who you were...
Or he was a Mormon before the drugs. He probably has tobacco if it's any.
That's who you were talking to?
Yeah, he knows a lot of people. He could probably help you find some Indian tobacco or something.
Jacob pulled back onto the road, not bothering to signal, and floored the accelerator until he reached easily 30 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Where did they take you?
You know the old water treatment facility everyone thinks has UFOs?
Yeah? Oh shit, there? No way. So were there aliens or anything?
Not really. It's actually just a place where they make satellites and shoot them through wormholes. There's no aliens.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's kinda lame.
Kinda. Jacob's friend Cameron lived outside the city, in a rural subdivision guarded by a gate, with a somewhat bored-looking attendant. Rolling his eyes as Jacob pulled through, the attendant opened the gate, allowing my brother to take off down the dirt road. The house was small, surrounded by thick branches of mesquite and tall trees. A faint smell of marijuana lifted through the air. As we neared the door, I could hear the sounds of David Bowie playing from an old record player. A black light was visible through the door. Cameron sat on the ground, wearing 3D glasses and coloring with crayons.
Whoa! Dude! Oh my god! I was just thinking about birds! Now you're here! Oh, come in, my friends! Oh, teach me! Whoa! Wait, never mind, never... I totally thought you guys were bird gods. Just alright. What's up, my man?
Not much. Hey, this is my sister Megan. Megan? Cameron.
He kissed my hand and closed the door, looking paranoid as he flicked off the black light and turned on the regular lights. A deer's head hung from the wall next to a Pink Floyd poster. The kitchen was stacked with dirty dishes. A half-eaten bowl of ramen sat complacently on the table. Cameron turned down the music.
Sorry, guys. I know that's that's a little intense. But come on in. Make yourselves at home, guys. And do you smoke?
Sure.
Said my brother. He took a quick hit and then passed it to me. I listened in to the language, shutting my eyes. Before me, there appeared a dazzling swirl of calming green, blue, and purple lights. As much as I wanted to get to know marijuana, I needed to focus on tobacco. I passed it to Cameron, not bothering to take a hit.
What are you on, man?
He's on acid.
Whoa. She got it right. That's crazy. How about you, Megan? Jake told me that you were tripping or something. Are you having a rough time?
I'm not tripping. It's actually really hard to explain.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I did my best, though, and by the time I reached the end of my story, Cameron had gotten back onto his feet to look through his bookshelf.
Wait a second. White flowers. Oh my god. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay. Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah. What's it called? Datura?
Yeah. Datura stramonium. It's anticholinergic deliriant. It contains scopolamine.
I think I've heard of that.
Oh, from the Vice documentary?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know someone who tried this once. And, they ended up in the hospital for like 3 days. It's bad shit. That's crazy what happened to your friend, though. But it is kind of amazing. I mean, like... Wait. So, you've got mushroom powers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can totally see it. You've really got this mushroom power vibe. That's amazing. Nice. Hey, before I forget, You guys, Megan, you need to read this book here. It's called Food of the Gods. It's by Terrence McKenna. It's like, you're just, because it's like, you said language, and I'm like, Terrence McKenna, and it's like, oh my god, my mind is fucking my mind is fucking blown. And so I guess you need tobacco to like negate the powers of the datura flower or something like that.
Yeah, but real tobacco. That's what my ancestors said anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. You're probably, for real tobacco, what you're probably thinking of is this. I read this book a lot. It's pretty easy for me to find. I'm sorry. You're probably thinking of Nicotiana rustica. It's right here. I read somewhere on the internet a while back that there's like these Indian tribes, and they mix tobacco with datura to kind of like balance the other out.
Do you know where I can find it?
Oh, fuck. Oh, you really need this too, and I have no idea where to find it. Oh my god. So, yeah. How about this? I will go on Reddit for a little bit and Google it, and I'll see what I can find. Maybe Arrowwood knows, or I don't know. I'll probably be able to figure it out. I don't know. Oh wait. Do you guys like coloring? You wanna color while I Google?
I exchanged an uncertain look with my brother, who shrugged, feeling slightly too intense and paranoid to be in this house. Sure, I said, getting down on the floor and retrieving a sheet to start coloring.
Okay, cool. I have like 128 colors and all these glitter crayons. Knock yourselves out, guys. Alright.
I gently moved aside Cameron's drawing of a bird god, and then shifted into the mushroom language. Coloring was a lot better in the mushroom language. I worked on drawing the moon, trying to use as many of the colors as I could. Everything was glowing and squirming, and, generally it was just a good time.
You're doing just fine, Megan.
The moon said in my drawing. It was reassuring. I would hate for the moon to be mad at me. After a few minutes of this, Cameron spun around in his computer and read aloud.
Okay, guys, I think I got something. This is an article. It says that the high concentration in its leaves makes it really useful for making pesticides. So that's, maybe there's pesticides based on that around here. I don't know. The other thing I found is over here. There's an old Reddit post, and this person says that they use it to make a nicotine gum. I don't know how accurate that is, but I know that I have some nicotine gum. Oh! Hey! Are you drawing the moon? Oh my god! That's super cool! I love all those colors.
Thanks. I liked Cameron. I genuinely liked Cameron. He seemed like such a nice person, and he believed everything I'd said. Granted, he was on acid, but that didn't really seem like a big deal now.
Megan, you wanna go?
Oh, wait, guys. I have some here, actually. Nicotine's supposed to be, like, super good for your brain. I read somewhere. I think it is. Man. I don't know. What the fuck even is a brain? Shit. Okay, I'll go look for it.
He stepped out of the room, and I went back to coloring. About 20 minutes later, the sounds of a piano started filling the house. This continued for a while before Cameron shouted,
What did you guys need again?
Nicotine gum?
Oh, sorry, I was thinking about brains. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It's right here.
Cameron played a few more chords on the piano before running out to meet us. He handed me a box. Can I take this?
Totally. I mean, you gotta save the universe or some shit, right? Yeah. Do it.
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
Thank you. It's great to meet both of you guys, and to see you, Jacob. You're both so beautiful, and I hope that you guys both find peace.
Jacob looked up from his drawing of a skull filled with a giant buzzing city.
Thanks. Are you ready to go, Megan?
Yeah, I'm ready. It was great to meet you. Thanks so much for helping us. Trembling, we left the house, headed towards the woods. The language was difficult to grasp. It eludes me, but deep within the packets of outwardly innocuous gum loomed something great and powerful. My hands began to vibrate as I held onto the package. What little of the plant remained in that box locks into something greater, something universal. This was it. This is it. Is. Somewhere in here is the key to defeating the white flowers and saving the world. As vast as it seemed, it is difficult to understand. All of my attempts to learn the language held within result in evasion. I hear the faintest sounds of screeching and moaning, like wails. The more I press into it, the more noise it seems to make. I'm making it upset.
Megan, are you okay?
On your shoulders, on your lips, left some temporary gifts. Got a jacket, keep you warm, and a kiss to leave you so unsure. Just once, maybe this is what we're looking for. That was nice, maybe twice. Can we get one more? Can we get one more? Called a cab, no I'm bad. Maybe kissed you more than I should have. Just right, or just me. You won't answer, you're just leaving. Just once. Maybe this is what we're looking for. That was nice, maybe twice. Can we get one more? Can we get one more? Shots tearing through our conversation. In the dark we took out our competition. I was greedy, I had to have my fill. We took 4 shots, but I took the kill. I was greedy, I had to have my fill. We took 4 shots, but I took the kill. 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 But I took the kill.
But wait, there's also a special bonus track at the end of the episode. This was recorded by Colin Estes, and it is a David Bowie sound-alike that I just felt like you all needed to hear the full version of because it's beautiful.
Notwithstanding the provisions of sections 106 and 106A, fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phonorecords, or by any other means specified by the section, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. In determining whether the use made of a work in any particular case is a fair use of factors to be considered shall include 1. Purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature. Or is it for non-profit educational purposes? The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. That such a work is unpublished shall not itself bar a finding of fair use if such finding is made